Alright, so we are back with this Apple Watch Series 10 46mm. So far we've done quite a bit of work on different connectors, different flex cables, but today we're going to take a look mainly at the display flex. I've already worked on it a little bit, but after looking under the microscope, I think I found the issue. And hopefully by the end of this video, we'll have a working watch. Let's get started. So this is what we're going to be installing today. This is the LCD flex cable for the Apple Watch Series 10 46mm. It's a fairly simple replacement, requiring a soldering iron, some flux, and additional solder. The method of replacing this is something that's repeatable on so many other devices. So today, we're going to go and install it and see if that fixes it. Let's go under the microscope. All right, so down in here, you can see we've got the flex cable, and this is what I found. So what you'll see is that I ran this jumper to connect this, but then I noticed we've got some charring on this line, and I think I have a break as well right here. So I could take the time to jump it, but although the solder getting on these things might just not be making good connection. Besides, some of these are pretty oxidized, and cleaning them is only going to remove these thin traces. So instead of trying to work on this more, let's do the easier method and just simply replace the whole thing. So we're going to first peel up the sticker. Grab it on the corner there. We'll lift it up and set it aside. And one of the things that we want to note is you can see these little X's here through the window there. And then there's these little 4 gold corners. There's a gold square under there, and that's how you line this up, because you otherwise wouldn't be able to, it'd be difficult to line up the solder joints here. Now I'm going to take some flux, and you can do this while in the housing if you want, or you can take the time to take out the motherboard, but I prefer doing it in the housing. And what I'm going to be doing is putting a teeny bit of tension on this flex cable as we take the iron to it. I'm going to get a clean tip, and we're going to come in and start to melt the solder through these through holes. And as we do this, the little amount of adhesive that holds down the flex here is actually going to let go. And we'll slowly move back and forth over the flex cable, keeping the heat consistent so we're not pulling up any of the pads. Got my soldering iron set at 275 right now. And we're basically just going to work this flex cable slowly up without damaging anything. If you're ever struggling to get it up, you can try turning up the temperature, or you can even add a wick. This will not only kind of absorb or suck up the solder, but it'll also increase the the head of the iron. All right, that flex cable is getting in the way of me tugging on it because it comes in front of it. So I moved it out of the way. That should help clear things up. All right, now we finally got it off. What I like to do is come in with some solder. And what we're going to do is take the time to add some additional solder to all of the joints. That was a lot of flux. No matter. Alright, and that looks really good. I'm going to take a Q-tip and we'll clean up the flux there. And we'll lay down some new flux. Not a whole lot, just enough. Now you can really see the 2 little gold squares. Now I'm going to take the new flex cable, we'll slide it in behind the other flex. That'll kind of help hold it in position while we solder it. And we'll push down and line up the golden squares. I'm going to take it out for a second and make a different bend in the cable. There we go. Now we can have a little bit more mobility down in there. Alright, now we'll take the tweezers, push it down, we'll line up the windows after adding a little bit more flux to the top. Alright, I'm going to line up the top one. It's near perfect, and I'll actually be able to now pivot off of that to line up the bottom one just a little bit. Alright, now I can see the 4 little gold sections there around it, so I know that it's perfectly lined up. We'll tack it in place, and then I'm just going to go over the middle and push down and rub it back and forth, and now it's secure. You can see I've got plenty of the square showing on each one of those sections of the cross. So now I'm just going to
run the soldering iron across all of the joints while pushing down nice and firm. Just like that. We'll do it one more time. And then I like to go back in, and anytime I see one of these little joints that doesn't have like a little pillow of solder on top of it, I like to hit it with it just in case. Those all look really good. Go ahead and take a Q-tip with some isopropyl alcohol on it, or flux cleaner you can use as well, and we'll clean up the area. I'll get out a new Q-tip and go over it again while rotating, and then I'll come in and dry the area with the dry end of the Q-tip. Now we can put back the sticker. All right, now we can go test it, and hopefully now it works. All right, now we've replaced the old flex cable with some new ones. I go ahead and connect up these connectors here. We'll take the display and gently push in the new flexes into the ZIF connectors. We'll close down the little latches. Now we can connect up the battery, and let's see if we have any life. And we do. Look at that. It is coming on. Let's see if everything works when it comes on as far as the touch is concerned. While we wait for this to turn all the way on, maybe it needs to charge and that's why it's not coming on just yet. Sometimes they'll do that. We also got a new vibrator because I didn't like the way the old one looked. I got the little piece that I misplaced somehow. Well, it was also damaged, so it needed to be replaced. And do we have touch? We do. Does the crown work? It does. Power button. Everything looks like it's working just fine. All of the touches working just perfectly. Let's go ahead and get this watch all put back together with its new components. All right, we'll go ahead and get our new Taptic engine out, as it's kind of hard to determine if this one is still good due to all of the oxidation that I can see. Go ahead and connect up the GPS antenna, which can be all sorts of awkward to connect. All right, now that that's connected, and we've got that one connected in the back for Bluetooth, we'll go ahead and slide in the Taptic engine flex. All right, cover up with a sticker, accidentally unplug the GPS antenna and put it back. And I'm going to install the new one because maybe it'll snap better. Oh yeah, that felt like a much more solid click. All right, we'll push down the Taptic engine, straighten out the little prong there. I hate how these sometimes get bent in packaging. It's just kind of inevitable. They're so flimsy. And we'll put back one of the screws. We'll get out our Bluetooth antenna connection, and you can kind of see part of it stayed behind. Just all the little circuit popped off, so we definitely needed to replace it. We'll line it on up, put back the screw, gently connect up the Bluetooth coax connector. Right, we'll take the bracket for the power button area, take the little screw and put it into the frame. Take the slightly bigger one and put it on this side. And then I like to take a tool like this. There's several different types, but it'll spin off that adhesive that's really annoying to get off by hand. All right, makes quick work of that adhesive. Does kind of fling it everywhere though, depending on the model, but it's so much easier to do that. All right, last few steps. We're gonna go ahead and connect back up the display. And remember, we did do work on that one pin that was completely corroded. Had to run the smallest of jumpers to actually make it connect. I'm glad that worked. We replaced the display flex cables, the battery flex cable, the Bluetooth connector, the loudspeaker. Let's see, what else did we replace? The GPS small connector, the battery, and the Taptic engine. Quite a bit of work. Let me know in the comments below, is it worth going through all of that struggle to fix a device like this? This is a Series 10, so it's not like it's that old. I'm going to take this sticker as well. We'll stick it back on. And now we can finally connect up the battery. We'll take off the little sticker there. I'm going to connect the connector first. And now we'll put back the bracket and screw that hold down the Bluetooth antenna and the battery connector. Tighten it on down. Go ahead and turn it back on. It should boot up a lot quicker now that everything's connected. And then we'll check the touch one last time before closing up the watch. So let's see, we still have touch. You can actually hear the sound works. That was one of my concerns, obviously, with the speaker connector being all strange and corroded like that.
But yeah, this watch is good to be sealed up. Let's go ahead and do my ultimate favorite test, which is the power button drag. This verifies that everything's working nicely. I don't see any issues with the display, touch, anything like that. So this watch is all fixed. We'll turn it off for now just to close it up. To close it up, I'm going to be using this cold press adhesive. I really enjoy this. Some feedback that I've gotten from people is that these tips like to kind of solidify. And here's the solution for it. I use one of these as a cap. If I have recently used it, it'll come out. But if it's not coming out, then I take this one, which is the one I previously used, and I reach in there with some tweezers, and I grab a hold of the adhesive, and I slowly pull. And what's really nice is if I'm patient enough, the whole thing will pop out just like that, leaving me with a clear, basically new nozzle. And you can see how this adhesive is. It's springy. Doesn't get hard like a rock, which means that it's going to have the elasticity that the watch wants, and it's going to have that water resistance that I'm trying to get back to. So that way I could just take this one, we'll swap it out with the new one, and we can come in and pull this tube up, and then we can pipe out the exact amount that we want along the border here, getting a nice consistent bead without leaving any gaps, giving this the best chance of surviving if it ends up ever going in water again, which hopefully they don't go diving with it again or swimming with it again. I'll move all the way around nice and slowly, not missing any spot, getting back up where we started. Make sure all of the little brackets line up, and we'll close up this watch just like so. Take a cloth, get a little bit of alcohol on there, and we'll go around and remove any of the squeeze out while it's still liquid. And to clamp this down, something as simple as a rubber band a bunch of times is going to be plenty to hold this screen down so it doesn't move at all while you can actually see it's pushed out some more adhesive while that adhesive dries. And then to store this, I'm just going to pipe out a little bit extra and push it in there. And then I'll cap off the end if I'm doing a bunch of watches. This one's good to go. And this watch is basically finished. After about a half an hour, I'd be able to take off the rubber bands. You can leave it for a full 24 hours if you really want to, but it doesn't need it. And this Series 10 46 millimeter is all fixed. All right, now here's all the parts that we replaced. Now, obviously, that wasn't all the work that went into this, but this watch is looking brand new, working once again. Let me know in the comments below if you think it was worth it to put in all of this work to fix this Apple Watch.